Hello, Evolutionary Astrologer, Bryan Colter here for your horoscope report for the upcoming Leo new moon that happens on August 18th. And really it happens on the 18th, but it describes the energy we're working with, the archetypes for the next couple weeks. And we'll highlight some of the bad to look out for, but also the high end, the evolutionary intention. And I'll get to the Leo because it's so beautiful, because it adds some warmth, some potential joy to a mixture of planets which are pretty tense. And I've been describing it in every video, the last at least, 3 or 4 videos, and I will continue to describe it for the rest of the year because it's the biggest theme of the next about 5 or 6 months. And that is, you guessed it, Mars. Mars is in its own sign of Aries. Mars, the war god, in the sign of the warrior. Whenever a planet's in its own sign, it's really strong, but simultaneously, it being in its own sign, it's in a continuing, what's called square aspect to 3 heavy hitter planets, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. Now, what I want to focus on today is the energy of Saturn and Mars, because they're in a near exact square to one another, within about a degree. Mars is about 25 degrees of Aries, and Saturn's is about 26 degrees of Capricorn, so near exact square between what are called the 2 malefics in astrology. And Mars square Saturn is right at the very top of the list of one of the most dreaded planetary aspects in all of astrology. And astrologers typically describe it in a very foreboding tone, and they can usually couple that tone with a whole lot of sheer horror stories related to their clients or what they've seen in world events with these 2 planets interacting. And it is true. Whether you're cultivating the high-end Mars-Saturn, which is not easy to do, as we'll see, it's a challenge, which is just the nature of these planets. They're very challenging individually, but even together they're challenging. And especially through the square, we're going to see a lot of hard energy, the darker side of these planets, which involves anger, fear mainly, and of course fear and anger play off of each other, and greed, control, toxic ambition, really nasty forms of competition, violence, killing. It can get pretty nasty. Okay, but there's a polarity between the 2. And of course, what we focus on says a lot about how our subconscious mind is made up. If we view reality more positively, we tend to focus on the positive sides of life. If we seem to view reality more negatively, we're going to focus more on the negative. So, if astrologers only focus on the negative, that's probably how they perceive reality. So I do my best to highlight both, because here we are on planet Earth, the realm of duality, okay, between light and dark. It's important to keep a close eye on the dark to see what's going on and also behavior to avoid, and then keep our eye on the light side of the force, so to speak, so we can strive towards the high-end expression to basically accelerate our growth and evolution. But whether you're striving for high-end Mars-Saturn or you fall into the pits of low-end Mars-Saturn, either way, the energy they represent is edgy and uncomfortable. Okay, that's especially just the nature of the planets, but again, especially through the square. So as we spectate the events on the world stage during this Mars square Saturn, it's really strong right now. This energy of edgy, uncomfortable, tense will continue throughout the rest of the year, but it's super strong right now. Near exact square. So we will see the dark side of this behavior becoming much more obvious. We've already seen it obvious. That trend's going to continue. Okay, going to see that really toxic competition fueled by anger, even hatred sometimes, okay, fueled by fear, and ultimately fueled by pain and suffering, because there's a major class disparity in this world, and the elite are tightening their grip of control on everybody, and people have had enough. And of course, this anger, this fear, we're expressing is kind of playing into their hands in a way, because they're pitting one team against another, many different teams. It can be your sex, it can be your age, it can be your political affiliation, it can be the color of your skin, it can be your sexual orientation, it can be so many different things, but it's pitting one team against another, keep us fighting, keep us distracted instead of us coming together for the greater good. And this tension is just, it's at a maximum right now. So we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff. That's not where I want to spend most of my attention, though. I'm much more interested in, taking accountability, which is a good Saturn word. It's about responsibility, taking responsibility and accountability for our own growth, our own maturation, which are both Saturn words. And ultimately, that's the great prize of navigating Saturn-Mars in your own personal life. Everything has an evolutionary intention. And yes, these planets are edgy and uncomfortable on the high end too. But there is a wonderful prize in its maturity, satisfaction, self-respect, wisdom. These are all beautiful Saturn words and gifts. And then, of course, the Mars, courage, bravery, assertiveness, more personal power. And the combination of successfully navigating Saturn-Mars squares is an indomitable will, and a strengthening of your character. But the means to that end is you have to do something very difficult. You have to accomplish a great work. That's how you really leverage this edgy, uncomfortable energy towards accomplishing a hard work that will bring you right to the edges of your comfort zones, okay? To your fears, calling you to become stronger. So what's your great work? And a great work for a lot of us is going to be this Leo, this business, which I'm about to get to in a minute here. But of course, you can get an understanding of the nature of your great work by understanding where the new moon in Leo and where the Saturn and the Mars are all placed in your birth chart. This can become much more exact, but we're just going to think really broadly here. So imagine you like to do some rock climbing, mountain climbing, and you're standing at the base of El Capitan, a 3,000-foot mountain in Yosemite Valley in California, which is a very popular mountain to climb if you're a mountain climber. And about 1,000 meters tall, I guess, would be the equivalent. And you're going to free climb it, meaning with no ropes, no protection. And actually, somebody did do that in 2018. They free climbed El Capitan. What a colossal feat that is. Do you think he had to face his fears? I think it was a him. Yeah. Do you think he had to be disciplined? He had to have a laser focus? It's probably very meditative. In order to accomplish that, you have to be in the zone. But you have to have a tremendous physique too. That's a very Mars and Saturn combination. That indomitable will. Imagine how he felt after climbing El Capitan with no ropes. Do you think he walked a little straighter, had a little bit more confidence? He'll know for the rest of his life that he faced that mountain with no protection. Was it edgy? Was it uncomfortable? Oh, I'm sure. It probably brought him directly to the edges of what he believed was possible. Haven't talked to the guy, I'm just kind of making assumptions here. That imagery brings us right into the spirit of Saturn-Mars. There's a great prize in climbing the mountain, but you got to face some fears. And you got to know how to work, all the cracks in the mountain and the equipment if you have any, that's the more practical Saturnian side. But there's a great prize, that indomitable will. And that's the evolutionary intention when working with Saturn square Mars. Now we can understand this great work even more precisely by tying in Leo. Leo is known as the king of the beasts. So the period of time is about king energy. And this king energy is going to strengthen, especially towards the end of 2020, when we have the other symbol in astrology, Jupiter, known as the king of the gods. These are the only two symbols with the word king in it. Jupiter will form a conjunction with Saturn at the end of 2020. Talked about that in another video I did with Lotta late last year. You'll have to hunt for it if you're interested. But it's a major event. It only happens once every 20 years. And from the point of view of more medieval astrologers, they saw this as the falling of the king, Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. So November, December, we enter the period of the falling of the king. You can read that in a variety of ways. I'm not going to get into that now. I'll do that in a later video when we start getting closer to it. But let's look at the king energy now, combined with the two malefics at cross purposes with each other in the sky. Time of the malefic king, the evil king. Again, you can read that in a variety of ways as well. You can look at it as cultures around the world that you would perceive as evil, ramping up their game. Particular people you perceive as evil, especially those in power, ramping up their game. Accentuating really the extreme darkest manifestation of Leo, which is pretty rare, but it definitely happens, which is full-blown narcissism. The evil narcissistic kings of the world ramping up their game, as this energy really supports their energetic texture that they're working with. And I don't want to say too much more about that. Let's focus on the high-end king, the lion, the king of the beasts. Think about a lion literally up on a big grouping of rocks, standing there, all strong, looking down on the savannah, looking at all the animals below. He is the king. Represents strength. Represents a quiet dignity. And when we contemplate the energy around Leo, it's about warmth, it's about joy, it's about acceptance, it's about forgiveness, it's about expression. The great work for us now, generally speaking, is to learn to roar like a lion. Let it all out. Unabashed expression of self. It is fundamentally about creativity. Maybe there's some great work around creativity it's time to start, or finish for that matter. Maybe you have had some resistance towards finishing this book of poems, or book of illustrations, or maybe a book itself. This time very much is about expressing with words and writing and media, because here we have this Leo stuff, the new moon, sun conjunct moon. It's also next to Mercury. They're forming what's called a 3-planet stellium in the sky, and they're all very close to each other, within 2 degrees. So we add in Mercury, which the planet of communication and thoughts and perception and media. Okay. So putting it out there, putting your thoughts out there. But here's the key. From a place of vulnerability and authenticity. Roaring like a lion. Putting it all out there, regardless of the consequences. Meaning the consequences of other people's reactions. Now, the thing we want to be careful here, with the Mars in the mix, is self-righteousness and dogma. And that's kind of a segue getting into the nodes of the moon. I've been talking about that a lot too. I don't want to go too deep into that. But let's just say we're trying to get away from dark side Sagittarius right now, which is fixed set of ideologies and belief systems. Here we are, one team pitted against the other team. What's happening now during this period of war, this period of Mars over the next 6 months is a war of ideas, war on our perception, as one dogma is attacking another dogma. So that's the trap we don't want to fall into as we roar like a lion. That's not what I mean. Roar with confidence in what you believe. And sure, finding the right audience can be helpful, but audience is really key. If you write a poem and don't share it with anybody, that's an act of creativity. That's Leo too. That's great. And there might be some fears around, fighting your own resistance to the act of creation, which reminds me of the book, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Beautiful book. One of my top 5 favorite books, especially for budding artists out there. So yeah, if you face your fears to finish an act of creativity, that's working with this energy too. But I believe where the rubber meets the road is actually sharing that with an audience of people, even if it's only one person and it's your best friend, which is a pretty safe audience usually. About vulnerability, connection, roaring like a lion. That can be a great work too. And that can bring us right towards our fears. There's that Mars word. And we become stronger. Imagine you're a singer-songwriter and you wrote a song, but you're really shy about sharing it. This beautiful image of you going to the local open mic poetry slam, but they also do free mic stuff, and you're up there and you sing your song. But before you do, you're breaking out in a full-blown sweat, because you're scared. Also a lot of excitement in there too. Imagine how you'd feel after accomplishing that great work of facing your fears around creativity. Okay? Afterwards, you would feel great. You would feel exhilarated. You'd feel stronger. You roared like a lion. And during this period of time, we must have a heart like a lion. And having an audience is important because when they clap their hands, it opens the heart, it warms the heart. What we need now is connection. So finding the right audience, people that will support you in what you have to express. I'm not talking about echo chambers here. It doesn't mean they have to agree with what you're expressing, but will hold your heart with respect, even though they're independent centers of thought and action and they may disagree with some of the things you said. So letting it all out there, letting it all hang out in the face of potential judgments. Okay? And there'll always be judgments out there. Okay? Even if you create the most beautiful thing in the world, there's going to be a small percentage of the human population that hates it. It's just, we're just so different, and some of us are more compatible with others. And hey, that's just how it is. Okay. But recognizing that the evolutionary intention here is to shine brightly into this world, because when you receive the warm reception, there's that positive feedback loop. Here you are, taking the courage to put your heart out there, and hopefully you get appreciated for it, and they're sending positivity back, and it's boom, it opens the heart. The shadow side of this is giving into your fears and resistances. So you're going to be the cowardly lion, or are you going to be the lion of strength and quiet dignity with the heart of a lion and an indomitable will? That's the evolutionary intention and question that we're asking ourselves, with the goal always being to expand our consciousness. And with that being said, as usual, we're going to transition into the meditation so we can really tap into that heart energy and visualize this lion energy and build it from within with the powerful practice of meditation combined with binaural beats. I infuse this technology into my meditations. For those of you who are unaware about that, just put on some headphones and you listen to my voice and the music, and it'll help to sink you into a meditative state. Enjoy. Close your eyes and sit nice and comfortably with a straight spine. Feet flat on the ground if you can, or sit cross-legged is fine. And just simply breathe in and breathe out. And let your mind drift away from all those thoughts and just focus your awareness on your breath. Nice rhythmic breathing. Slow breaths into the belly as you inhale, and exhale first from the belly as you let your breath out. Just simple rhythmic breathing. And begin to add some counting with your breath. Do a nice 4 count per inhale and per exhale. 4 in, 4 out. Deeply and evenly. Now bring your conscious awareness to your left foot. Feel like you're in your left foot. And move your awareness to your left ankle. And now your left calf. Left knee. Left thigh. Left hip. Now into your right foot. Feel like you're in your right foot. Now up to the right ankle. Right calf. Right knee. Right thigh. And into the right hip. Now feel like you're in both of your legs at the same time. Feel all of both of your legs at the same time. Now start moving up the lower back to the middle back, to the upper back, and over to the right shoulder. And feel your awareness to start going down your right arm into the bicep area and upper arm. Now into the right elbow. The right forearm. The right wrist. Now into the right thumb. And into the right first finger. Now the middle finger. The next finger, the ring finger. And now into the small finger. And now be in your entire right hand. And feel the center of your right hand glow with a beautiful white color. You might start to feel a vibration or a tingling feeling there. Now move your attention back up the arm, up to the right shoulder, across to the left shoulder. And now into the left upper arm, left elbow, left forearm, left wrist, now into the left thumb, left first finger, now the middle finger, ring finger, And now the small finger. And now focus on the center palm of your left hand. And see a glowing white ball there. And now focus your awareness on the center of both palms at the same time. And see the glowing white ball in the center palm of both hands. Feel them connected as one. Now move your attention back up the left arm, up towards the neck, and in the back of the neck now. Now up the back of the head and the ears, over the top of the head, and feel the energy go down your forehead, eyes, nose, cheeks, mouth, chin, front of the throat, and continue to move down the chest and into the stomach area. And visualize a beautiful sky blue sun in the abdominal area. All the way from the solar plexus to the lower abdomen. See it as brightly as you can, shining in every direction. See this sky blue color grow brighter as you inhale, and see the color ripple out in all directions of your body as you exhale. Color grows brighter as you inhale, and the sky blue color goes throughout your entire body as you exhale, letting go of any remaining tension. Now move your awareness up and back to your chest area. And this time change the color to a rosy white pink. In the entire chest area, a pink sun in and around the chest. This is your emotional center. Feel all your unhealthy emotions and desires let go. See the pink color grow brighter as you inhale. And retain its brightness as you exhale. And grows brighter with each inhalation. Now feel feelings of self-love and appreciation for yourself and your journey. This is the love center of your energy body. Show gratitude for this precious gift of life. and honor how far you've come. Now picture somebody in front of you. Somebody you feel like expressing some heartfelt feelings to. But don't express the feelings yet. Just visualize this person in front of you. And keep visualizing the pink color in your chest area as well. And see this person looking at you with a blank expression. And extend this pink color out to this person and envelop their energy body with your love. And see their expressions start to soften a little bit as they accept your positive intentions. And then from a place of vulnerability, express yourself, but in a way that's positive and loving, in a way that's compassionate, that strengthens connection between the two of you. And visualize this person receiving what it is you have to say and receiving your authenticity. And see this person accepting this information in a positive light. And see the connection grow between the two of you. And then see the pink energy coming from their chest to yours. An exchange of love between the two of you. The energy brightens between the two of you, and you begin smiling and giggling, playfully laughing through this loving connection. The laugh grows stronger, and you're at a point where you're crying from a place of joy and affection with each other to the point of crying. Tears of joy from laughter. What a beautiful thing that is. That's one of my favorites. Now enjoy this image for a little bit more. And now bring your awareness back to your body. Feel like you're fully in your body. Try to feel every cell of your entire body at the same time. And feel every cell of your entire body start to glow with a brilliant white light, shining in all directions, growing brighter as you inhale and shining out in every direction as you exhale. You are a body of light. With a heart of a lion. Now bring your awareness back into the room around you, your environment, and you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes to this new reality you just created. Thank you for joining me in this journey.